Each month, we invite the Tulsa Fire Chief to join us to update us on what's happening in the department. Chief Michael Baker is with us once again. It's good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
Last time you were here, you talked about an arson case at that tire store. What's the update on that?
Well, currently the case is still open. Arson is a very difficult crime to prove and to prosecute, so we have an incredible team of fire investigators within the fire department. The fire marshal and that team work very hard to solve the crime. We can collect evidence, and we work closely with TPD on the investigation. But unless we have someone who sees or knows something about this event, knows the people involved, it's very difficult to prove and prosecute. And so in this case, we have specific vehicles, you have specific folks that have dress that is, and they're in an area that, I mean, evidently they're aware of. So we surely have someone out there that would call a tip line and help us track down these folks that started this fire.
I thought it was a good idea to revisit it because, you just released it a month ago when you were on. And my thought was, I bet by now you've got it solved. But you were saying during the break that there really are a lot of elements to this. I mean, you have the team available. What all, the dog goes in, how does that, what's that process like?
Right. So first off, the fires are destructive evidence. So when you're fighting fire, firefighters are trained to preserve as much evidence as possible, especially if they suspect something's been incendiary or intentionally started. And then so we will wait. We'll call in a trained fire investigator that's also cross-trained as a law enforcement officer, so they understand how to collect and preserve evidence. So we'll, if they believe that, like in this case, that an accelerant has been used, they have the opportunity to use a K9 that we have assigned to the department from the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms ATF. And so all of these tools are there. And so we can collect all this, but unless we have any other additional evidence that comes forward after that collection, it's very difficult.
And once again, if you have any information that could help them lead to the prosecution, give them a call at that hotline number. The Tulsa Fire Department recently lost a young firefighter after his battle with cancer. And I saw the video of the funeral, and it's just not something I'm used to seeing when someone like you stands before your department, especially because it is such a brother and sisterhood. Losing Harrison Mosby, what did that do to the department? Well,
I think, I mean, excuse me, I just got a little bit of just thinking about it. So Harrison had a 1.5 year long battle. Comes from a long family of firefighters, and it is amazing. I cannot describe this about any other profession. It's amazing. Probably law enforcement, the military, EMS work in the same way. And what our folks did for that family and still are doing for that family. This has been, unfortunately, my 4th funeral in the 3.5 years that I've been a fire chief, where I've had, and it's not something that's written down in the fire chief book that they tell you about, but you know it's going to happen. My pride is in the men and women of our department first that came together to do things for this family that we don't even know about. Travel to Houston, be there, support them. My pride is also in our community who recognize, and then frankly, the world and the folks across our nation, foundations that stepped up, that would call. The cards that I've gotten from departments across the country, large and small, and it's been an incredible, unfortunate event, but it shows we are built a profession built on trust, and it shows that we are there for each other, and it's incredibly important. I think it's why people want to be firefighters. I think it is this example of how we take care of each other in Tulsa that allows folks to keep our recruiting efforts full. They want to be part of this department, and it's not me. This is the members, the men and women of our department who do this every day. And so it's an incredible, I'm honored to be there.
It's very powerful. I've got about a minute left. Last week was National Burn Awareness Week. It's important to talk about that because I think especially with us with gasoline and kerosene and campfires, and I mean, there's so many opportunities, and Alan mentioned even today the winds, things that we don't always think about and how quick it can turn.
So everything we talk about, you know, burn awareness, we spend a little bit of time at the holidays with Christmas trees, and when we start frying turkeys, we're going to be approaching the camping season, where folks, the use of accelerants on campfires and charcoal fires really just add to that risk of someone being burned. I could spend an hour talking about all the risk around that. But remember that, you know, burning inside the city limits is illegal. So no limb and no trash burning, because it can spread rather quickly, and it does. And we have a lot of folks that, you know, burn themselves with petroleum and other products. As we get into February and March, the weather will change, our burn season and the risk of burning increases, and outdoor burning. So a discarded cigarette, or someone that is improperly using, you know, lighters and chemicals to try to ignite a fire a little bit better, even in a rural area, can create a lot of damage to property and life.
Got to be really careful. Appreciate you coming in as always.
So much.
Look forward to seeing you next month.